the pellets have to be so small and not big?
Well, the big thing is we don't want to be feeding pellets into manually feeding them, like shoveling or doing anything like that. We want to be able to just kind of let the system do its own. So what we have are a lot of these pellets in these big bins that just kind of gradually trickle down on an auger system into the burner. So all we have to do is check it a couple times a day and make sure that nothing's gone wrong. But it's much easier to just let the system move these little pellets through the auger. If it was anything much bigger than this, it would mean us actually like having to shovel or move them manually into the burner. And during the day is not so hard, but in the middle of the night, not so convenient to go out and actually have to shovel them.
How does the biomass pellets work in like the boiler and stuff?
Well, it's
Exactly.
kind of it's a heating, a source of heat. So there's a fire that's in the burner, and we have the auger set that it just trickles enough of these little pellets into that fire to keep it going. And if we need the fire to get bigger, the system will put more of those pellets in to get the fire bigger to heat more of the greenhouse.
What kind of equipment do you need to burn the biomass pellets?
You need basically you need a burner that has that fire pit, and then you need some way of conveying those pellets or the fuel source into the fire, which is that auger in the bin that we have set up.
And how does this product help the environment?
Well, we're not using gas, which is not real easily renewable, and it's using things like corn stalks and other residues that from farming are either just excess and either left in the fields or used as bedding. So this is just finding another use for it. And the other thing is we're using prairie grasses, which ultimately there's a lot of people that think that would be better for farmland that isn't so productive, to just put it into prairie grasses that we can just harvest every year, and then there's not a lot of working of the land or expense that's put into like fertilizers and things.
Why did you choose biodegradable pots instead of normal ones?
Well, for us, we've used plastic pots like this for years, and they work great for us in terms of ease of use and not having a lot of issues with pests or disease and things. But once the consumer uses them, they just get dumped into a landfill or become excess that no one wants. And they're pretty hard for us to reuse because they can, after one use, they can build up potentially some disease that would then be inside that plastic and then attack the roots of a new plant that's planted in there. So we never like to reuse pots if we can help it. A biodegradable pot like what we've been using now, these are actually made out of rice hulls. This works, feels just like a plastic pot, so for us it's perfect. We can grow in it just like we would the plastic, but for the consumer then, they don't have to worry about what happens after they use the plant out of this, because it'll crack and break apart, and it'll actually degrade into the soil within a couple years. So it's not something then that stays in the landfill forever.